Hey, it's your host on this midnight channel. I'm Grimmfiend, or Jay. Either one is fine with me. Welcome to Grimm's Midnight Commentary 3.5. And this is mainly just something to where I just talk about thoughts, just whatever, because apparently my mind and body won't let me sleep, especially during these midnight hours. I'm going to be using the process of Reddit in my own mind to just get some things out that I find interesting, and hopefully you do too. Alright, let's get into it. Just in is my QB says the younger generation has been harmed by social media. Alright, here's what they say verbatim. Heads up, this post is mainly about the younger males. I can't put male/boy in title for some reason because the subreddit just won't post it then. This is like my 5th attempt, and it finally went through when I removed any sort of word that identifies with the male gender. A little odd. Let me drink some water real quick. Just a little offshoot, I'm gonna be realistic with you guys. Although I do feel more comfortable doing this, it still scares me in a sense of just like, what if this ever turns into the direction of me doing these types of things and it ends up becoming bigger or whatever the hell than what I anticipate, because I really just do this just to, like I said, get these things and stuff off my mind, but it's just, you never know. And shoot, success scares me to a degree, because it's like, what do you do with it? But I also realize success is very subjective. One more swig of water and we're all good to go. And Justin, as my QB, basically says, let's see, I'm a weird guy. I'm not sure if I'm a narcissist or just artistic. You know, that's code word for the tism. But I've always been a stranger looking in. I have had a genuine blessing of looking at social media as a guilty pleasure, but many people see social media, which is indeed fake as hell, as a sort of safety net for their complaint and anger. But I've noticed anger just makes more anger and confusion. I'm a male, and for a long time I took too much on social media to heart. I thought women hated me and I really didn't like them back. I'm only laughing because I can familiar and relate to this so much, right? But I'll save all commentary and stuff towards the end. I pretty much even said I was never going to marry because I felt like every woman on social media hates me. Now, this is not true at all, but it did feel like it was no different from a lot of other men, and I really pushed away from supporting women in many things almost out of spite. But I gladly broke through this, and it's all a process of emotions. I have noticed I was going down a very bad path. I noticed I was becoming more and more like the angry young men of social media, and I wondered why. It's because a lot of young men feel targeted by women on social media. A lot of young men really don't hate women. Hell, I love women, but to be clumped into the jackass of Twitter and Reddit was a hard pill to swallow, and it just pushed the kids away. Oh boy. But then I understand why women think like this. Women really had to fight for what they have and have had, and have taught a lot of the young men to absolutely love and respect women no matter what political controversy for. But these young women are far more susceptible to falling for Andrew Tate. The more young men respect women, the harder it is to be clumped with a few. I remember saying I really didn't like women, and that's because I saw them as people. I didn't see gender as much as I saw a very angry group of people who didn't care for me. I still loved my mother, aunt, cousin, and every female friend, but just social media was eating at me, and I just felt like a victim. So if you ever see a boy getting pissed at a woman over social media, just realize they probably really like women and just feel like their masculinity is a genuine evil in the world, so they take it out on a sort of pride. They look for people who tell them they're good for what they are. The main reason Andrew Tate got famous in incels. Sorry, that word makes me laugh a lot. In incels arose is because desperate young men were looking for a sort of masculinity that showed that they mattered and aren't just bad people. Young kids are desperate for any sort of pride, and social media takes it away and gives it back in many different ways. A cycle of hell that I lived through, and I can only ask to have some sympathy for the wayward kids. They need help and no one is trying to give it to them. Oh boy, this post right here hit me on a very, very, very personal note. Let me let y'all into something. Growing up, especially in my early to late teenage years, I was a crazy ass kid. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still crazy as shit, but there's this space called the red pill. This is before it blew up. This is before it turned into anything massive that it is now. Now, don't get me wrong, we mess and we troll the living fuck out of it. But back then, I felt like, dear goodness. It's like I'm literally reliving all of it, and I'm just, bear with me. There's a lot of pain and some other stuff associated with this, but we can laugh about it pretty well. There's these people called Donovan Sharp, Andrew Tate, Coach Greg Adams, Alpha Male. I forgot what it was. It was some light-skinned guy that looks like, he looks like The Rock with a whole beard, but what is it? Modern Life Dating, all these other guys. Steph is Cold, all these other guys. I'm not going to slander them, no nothing. I really don't feel like there's no need to. They already get slandered and this and the other stuff enough. Now, I'm not defending them. I'm not. But I'm also not going to insult them, no nothing. But I went through a time in my life to where, I'm not going to lie, I did not like women. I didn't like women because damn, this is weird. I kind of thought that I was ugly, I was this, that, and the other stuff. No. Looking back at all of it now, it turns out I was a very decently attractive person, but my attitude, my personality, who or what I was at that time was just, you did not want to be around that. Basically, it was so unstable and so crazy and chaotic, it was just, no. I didn't see women as women at that time. Basically, I saw them as things to conquer, to just do this, that, and the other stuff. I didn't see them as people. I was so obsessed with getting rid of my fucking virginity, because y'all already know, as guys, it was just, Jesus, man, teenage problems, am I right? Oh boy. But I was basically seeking out to be this man, someone that everyone could look at, popular, this, that, and the other shit. You know, the typical high school to like middle school shit that you worry about. Because I saw what people had and I didn't have it, and it made me upset because I was the weird kid. I was the outcast. Always was, always had been. I didn't really embrace it until like my later high school years, so. Oh boy. A lot of guys, especially like incels, the red pill, this and the other stuff, it kept you in a perpetual loop of just, you need to do this, that, and the other stuff. You were basically seeking out the validation and approval of being a man by like people derived or conceived as the most manliest of men, that your income had to be basically within like the 6 figure to 8 figure range for you to be considered this, that, and the other third. And it's basically, I would say it's just stuff to flaunt about to like 12-year-olds or whatever, being like, look at me, I'm pretty cool, aren't I? I don't give a fuck. I can teach you how to be a man. And I'll admit, what they're doing is good to those who deem them as good. To me personally, I don't care. I don't. All that it really did was just give me the confidence enough to go like, I don't want to be like this. And don't get me wrong, they taught me some things where I just sat there and was like, oh, shit. I really need to be more confident about myself. Because what I feel like a lot of people lack is just that confidence as a whole. And it comes to you once you learn to accept who or what you are. It's like, I'm gonna be completely honest, especially whenever it comes in terms of like the preference with women. It's like, for me, I like quiet people. I like boring people to a degree. I feel like I just like the normal stuff, really, you know? But if I see someone that's like undeniably conventionally like pretty, this, that, and the other stuff, it's like, yeah, that's cool. But it's like, sometimes I'll look at some people and be like, hey, this feels like a backhanded type of compliment. Have you ever like received, or have you ever gave a compliment to someone that's just like, yeah, you're really, really attractive, but it's just you're not my type? And it's like, oh my goodness, you do that to someone? Ooh boy. Ooh boy. Ay ay ay. You're in a world of trouble and laugh. You're about to go through a goddamn inferno, my brother. But it's like, you look at the people that have six-pack abs, you look at the women that have like these flat stomachs, these big chests, basically stuff that makes you go awooga. But hey, everybody has their own personal stuff that they like and that they don't like. And either you're for them or you're not. But the social media harm a lot of the younger generation? Yeah, it does. Especially with no parental supervision, no none of that. Because I'm gonna be honest, if I had children and they were looking at stuff like that, ooh boy. Ooh boy. Because I'm gonna be completely honest, what they do is they make you so deeply insecure about who or what you are. They basically break you to build them back up. I mean, to build you back up, either in their image of what they conceive as this, that, and the other third, or just a image. Either their image or just a image. And if that's what you want, and I mean if that's what you truly want, go for it. I can only speak and attest to the time of, I was in those spaces. I was in that stuff from, especially when I was 16 to 17. I didn't really get into that type of stuff until I was like 15 up to like late, no, 14 up to late 17. That age area. I know that's like 3 short years, but holy hell. At the time, whenever I did find that red pill stuff, I was like, oh my god, I hit a gold mine. I'm finally learning how people see this, that, and the other. Some of it was true. Some of it wasn't. But all it did was just make me so insecure and made me look like a bitch boy to so many other people. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm that big nigga. I'm that big nigga on that block. No. I was a fucking asshole. Am I still an asshole? Yeah, in some regards I am. At least I'm funny with it. Some people are just blatant assholes because it's like, yeah, I'm a man. I don't need to be nice. Ugh. Men don't share their feelings. Men don't. All that I basically learned is who and what I can do with a certain type of people. It's like, you ever notice that you've had like different friend groups where it's just like you can only do certain things with this friend group versus that friend group, you know? We've all had that. Like, some of my friend groups, it's like I can have deep and intrusive thoughts with them. I can be able to talk to them on like a philosophical level, this that, and the other stuff. It's like we can actually talk about things going on in our lives versus like another group to where it's like they're strictly the gaming group. I can't talk, I can't tell them about nothing, and it's just, it sucks. So I just don't do that with that group. I just don't talk with that group. I basically only play games and stuff with them. And then some of these groups make you hate women or see them as things less than people. Women are still people. You should still respect them. You should still listen to them, etc. Because it's like the same way that you treat a friend, treat them like that, given that they treat you like that. My bad, I was thinking about my ex for a second. But enough of that thought. I feel like that's going to have to be an entirely different video for another day. If you made it this far and you genuinely want to hear about my and you genuinely want to hear about my Red Bull, I can't speak because it's so funny to me. If you genuinely want to hear about my Red Pill arc, just type in Icy. I-C. Nah, I'm joking. Don't actually do that. Just type in Red, R-E-D. Alright then, let's look at another one. Ooh boy, that one's dark as fuck. There's one about car insurance, but ooh boy. The absence of the opportunity to feel meaningful is decaying society. Oh, that's a deep one. I'll do this last one and then we'll just conclude Midnight Thoughts. But before I read this one, would y'all like it if I made these videos shorter or longer? Going upwards of like an hour, maybe 30 minutes or less, or just... Do y'all want me to just go on about it until I feel like I need to be done with the video? Let me know. This user is called Happy Lucky Star. The absence of the opportunity to feel meaningful is decaying society. We're so lost in pleasure culture that most of us don't even realize that it's not our innate drive. Look how crudely people used to live, yet they continue on. No PS5, no McDoubles. Our earlier humans were cognitively rewarded by overcoming obstacles to survive. That's what natural selection and evolution has shaped us into. Beings that derive satisfaction from doing what we would now refer to as mundane tasks. Feel good for doing what you need to do. Today we work for dollars and free time. The pain of doing things we don't want to do is to have the reward of pleasure, later and indirect. Oh boy. No feeling good because you just yielded a good crop to feed your family. No feeling good because you just figured out a way better way to heat your house. We no longer have those continuous hits throughout the day and week to drive us. I believe all of this manifests itself in widespread depression and the aggression we see on the micro and macro scale. Kind of hits the nail on the head. I feel like this is more... I was going to make it a more male thing, but honestly, I can see how women would feel about this just as equally. Excuse me. I feel like this kind of hits the nail on the head for me because it's like I'm trying to at least... I don't even want to contribute or feel meaningful to society like that. Because someone's going to do it with or without me. And ironically, I feel like this is my contribution to society, as much as I do hate society. I've been looking for like that meaning, that captivity, something that will just keep me here to just Something that just, that's the thing, I don't know. And it doesn't feel okay to not know. When I was a kid, I wanted to basically save the world, but I just realized that stuff is always going to happen with or without me. Can I still help and do this and the other third for the world? Yes, of course. But just the more and more years that go on by, I turn more selfish because the people that I've helped out by and large are just, I don't feel like they're worth it. I don't. Even if the people that are worth it, they end up getting roped into that same situation where it's just the people that aren't worth it outweigh it so much. I feel like it's not even worth it, you know? Shit. That's also another thing that I realized. Deep thoughts are very depressing. Very. As goofy and as stupid, whatever the hell that I act, it's just, I have these very deep thoughts that just not a lot of people think about or don't even know how to respond to, you know? Um, Shit. I'm gonna have to do one more because I feel like that one was half baked. It wasn't bad, but I just feel like I feel like I wasn't able to give a really, really good response to that. I'm gonna give y'all two things as a bonus thing. This user, basic ad 5506, says lesson of the week. Not everyone will treat you as you treat them. I should know this by now, but I still ignore it and try to do better just to be placed on the back burner and forgot about. I know that way too well. You give money that you really don't have to someone just to learn they are texting someone else at 2 a.m. Then you pay the phone bill and they block you for calling them on it. Instead of being an adult and having a conversation. Definitely have had that happen before. You try to help a sick friend by bringing food, snacks, groceries to cook while you're out in the freezing rain, and the very next day, the ex shows up and you are put on the back burner like you were never even there for them. Like you didn't bend over backwards for them to try and help you. To try and help with different things. Jesus, this is hitting hard. Yes, they helped you, too, but they were never ignored by you under any circumstances. It sucks that things like this have had to happen. Stop being that yes person and take care of your own household. There's also this user that says you should teach people how to treat you. Even if you have to set up boundaries, you are made to look like the jerk and etc. It's important to remember this user 734QWE. The first person that said what I just said was Angie Fearing. It's important to remember that you can only control your own actions, and yeah, we all know that one. I always live by the saying, treat people how you want to be treated, right? Because I know what it's like to be treated like an absolute piece of shit, and it's just, I'm a bleeding heart, essentially. I will literally give you everything that I have, even if it fucks me over, because it's just, I feel like you need it more than I do. And I'll be okay. I'll still take care of myself, do whatever I need to do, this, that, and the third, but just maybe paying and doing that favor back would be nice, but I gotta stop expecting that. Then if I set up boundaries, if I look after myself, it's just I'm the asshole. It's so confusing because it's just, what the fuck do you want from me? But then if I want something in return, it's just fuck you and etc. You get blocked, you get this, that, and the other third. It's just, you sit there and you just go, fuck it. You know what? We got these two options: feeling like a fucking failure and the victim mentality. I'm not gonna lie, I always feel like a fucking failure, even whenever everyone tells me I'm relatively doing decent to good, if not better than a lot of other people. And it's just, you know what, they're right. I gotta start looking at it that way. But just on a personal level, I feel like shit. And then there's the victim mentality. Everyone's a fucking victim. But that's something for another day. It's just, yeah, I'm tired of feeling like a fucking failure. It just, I've lost my girlfriend, who's now my ex, who talks to everyone and shit except for me. My family, I feel like they kind of see me as a failure, even though I'm trying the best that I can with what I got. My dad, I would have thought that after my mom passed, we would have had a better relationship and etc. But he pushed me even harder to basically become and do something worthy of just the family name. Basically, being something that he can be proud of and etc. And I'm just like, why can't you be happy that I'm just happy with what I have? I get that you want all your children to basically be the best that they can be, this and the other stuff. It's just, this is kind of where that victim mentality or whatever the fuck comes in. I don't care. I'm happy with just the most simplest shit. I could be homeless right now. And the fact that I could just be walking, traveling, and etc., and hopefully nothing happened to me, I would be happy with that. Because it's just, I've always wanted to see the world. I've always wanted to just, life is short but also long. And because I got into an argument with him about me being let go from my job for something very, very stupid. I had strep throat and I was coughing up blood and some other shit. And he goes, "Oh, getting strep throat is childish." How the I need to calm down. My blood pressure and shit just can't handle this. Basically, I called my dad an asshole and some other shit, and he was basically making out for me to be a child. He was just rude and some other shit, and I was giving him the same energy he gave me, but he wasn't able to take it. I get that he's my parent, but I also feel like I am old enough to where it's just, I'm not underneath his care and etc. anymore, but just, you also have to watch how you talk to people. That's one thing he's told me. I don't care if you're my parent or whoever. If I feel like you've talked to me wrong, I will try to talk to you about it. And if you want to continue it, well, that's your ass. And yes, I could have been a lot nicer about it, but so could have he. And essentially, he didn't let me come over for Thanksgiving, Christmas, no, none of that. He didn't even get me anything. And when I learned that they didn't do anything for me, I said, you know, it is fair that I won't do anything for them. People try telling me to be the bigger person, to be this, that, and the other stuff. I'm tired, man. I'm so tired. Whatever you give me is whatever I'll give you. And I feel like that's fair. That's more than fair. I'm not gonna lie, after my girlfriend left me, I wanted to go on my villain arc. As cringy as that is to say. But honestly, if my birthday is pretty shitty. My birthday is January 17th, by the way. If that happens to be shitty, which is this upcoming Friday, you know what? You're gonna see some magic happen, believe it or not. You're gonna see some genuine magic. Because I'm tired of being where I'm at, and just, I want to see where this goes, who truly cares, and stick around and focus on that, you know? fuck. God, I fucking hate working. I hate working for like another company and making their dreams or aspirations, their own shit come true, and not doing that for myself. And I'm trying to go and do that for myself, and eventually, once I feel like if I do get there, no, fuck it, I will get there. I will extend that said hand to other people that want to do the same thing, because I can actually sit there and say, I know what it feels like to fight tooth and nail. But the thing is, nobody gives a fuck if you're working hard. Only that result is what they care about. And fine. If that's what they want, unfortunately, we gotta give it to them. You gotta make people care. And on that note, that concludes Grimm's Midnight Commentary for this day. Who knows, I probably might make more throughout this day. Until then, if you can sleep, if you can do whatever you can to just have something decent, go for it.